Yeah, I think the mic stinks. I think it stinks. Crazy. Crazy. Oh, that's what I was wondering what the hell they were shouting. I think this mic stinks, by the way.
Donald Trump rallies have been increasingly crazier and crazier. And tonight was no different, as Donald Trump not only disturbed his crowd, not only did he lead his crowd into an eruption of anger, but he also made his crowd laugh at him with just how shockingly strange he was acting. It was an absolutely nightmare performance for Donald Trump in his rally tonight in Wisconsin, and we are going to get into all of it. But before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button. It goes a long way, and it really means the world to me. Now, like I said, Donald Trump was just completely out of control tonight. And in one specific moment, a threat that he made led his crowd to erupt. And it was clear that Donald Trump only got angrier and angrier through the night leading to that threat. And so we're going to start with how he got angry in this clip right here.
In fact, this woman, she's the worst liar. Look, I had to go and beat crooked Hillary Clinton. She's crooked as a $4 bill. You know? I've never held a microphone up so long in my damn life. It's like I'm weightlifting. Sucker's heavy. But she's crooked as hell, right? Crooked Hillary. But she was less like, she didn't lie this way. This woman, Trump, is going to do, he's going to terminate your Social Security in his first week in office. No, no, no. I'm the one that's going to keep it going. No increases in aid.
No surprise to see Donald Trump tee off his classic list of grievances with attacks on Hillary Clinton and VP Harris, who he kept referring to as that woman. Just really strange, but he's clearly rambling in this attack. I don't even know if I can call it that at this point. He is just angry, and it is bursting out of him. He is uncontrolled. He is just out of it. And you can continue to see that when Donald Trump talks about tariffs right here.
You know what it is? It's tariff. The tariff. You're going to become so rich with the word tariff. You're going to become rich as hell. You're not going to know what to do with the money. I'm telling you, you're going to become very rich with the word tariff. And so I told them, and I was at the...
Like I said, he is just increasingly out of it. He is losing his mind. The pressure of this election is getting to him because, as we've said before, Donald Trump isn't running for president as much as he is running to stay out of prison. And so he is more and more scared, more and more aggrieved every single day. And so he's lashing out with crazier and crazier lies like we see right here.
Can you imagine if Kamala won? You would go down to a 1929 style depression. I believe that too. No, that'd crush your incomes and kill millions of jobs and wipe out your savings. We're not going to let that happen. You got to get out and vote. Just got to get out.
Donald Trump has been promising a 1929 style depression for years. Now it is his go-to attack on the economic standing of the agenda of his opponent, and it's never been true. We have seen an economic boom under the Biden-Harris administration, and we have seen the stock market hit all-time highs when we saw historic drops in the stock market under Donald Trump. And of course, an economic disaster that was the result of his mismanagement of the COVID-19 pandemic. But of course, Donald Trump will never reckon with that truth because he is unable to face any sort of accountability. He just wants to ramble, push conspiracies, and lie like he did right here.
Used to call it, but now they call it climate change. You know why? Because climate change covers cold, if it's too cold, if it's too climate change. We're suffering climate change. If it's cold, that's good. If it's hot as hell, that's good. It used to be global warming, and that wasn't working because we're actually cooling. So we have that, but you know the biggest...
Like I said, this was a clearly out of it. Donald Trump, who was dealing with a lot of feelings, and all of them began to pour out in one specific moment when his microphone broke, and it was all chaos from there. It's when we saw the outburst from the audience. It's when we saw one of the weirder things Donald Trump has ever done in a speech, and we're going to get into all that. But first, let's start with when that mic breaks.
We've seen that stuff happen. We don't want to do that. Oh, the mic. Yeah, I think the mic stinks. I think it stinks. Crazy. Crazy. Oh, that's what I was wondering what the hell they were shouting. I think this mic stinks, by the way.
So Trump doing his classic line that now I'm not going to pay the contractor something Donald Trump has done throughout his entire career, cheat people out of paychecks they have earned because he doesn't care. He is a criminal. He is corrupt. But what Donald Trump said next in the shocking eruption that came out of his crowd when he did this threat was just so disgusting.
Thank you very much. Fix the mic. You gotta be kidding. Do you want to see me knock the hell out of people backstage? You want to see me? I don't mind if they want to come up a little forward or something, but it's a pretty stupid situation, but that's okay. I get so angry. I'm up here seething. I'm seething. I'm working my ass off with this stupid mic. I'm blowing out my left arm. Now I'm going to blow out my right arm, and I'm blowing out my damn throat, too, because these stupid people.
You're going to knock the hell out of someone because there were technical difficulties with a microphone, and it happens all the time. Someone who is constantly giving speeches would know that technical difficulties happen, but this is just how angry Donald Trump is. He just has to lash out no matter what. And when the mic was getting fixed and the stand was being adjusted, I can't even explain it. Just take a look at what he did.
Way too low. Way too low. So I walk in, I said, shit. There's nothing worse than I walk in like this and did you notice? I was bending over like this. Hello.
It's almost like Trump is doing the worst comedy show that you could possibly see. He was holding his mic, so essentially doing stand-up. But it was more like fear-mongering stand-up from Donald Trump as he attacked his enemies from within and continued to ramble. But it wasn't just Donald Trump talking about those outside of his crowd, but inside of his crowd as well. Of course, those weird motions made his crowd laugh. But when he pointed out a girl in the crowd and decided to start describing her, yeah, it's going to get weird. Just look at the reactions of the people behind him and how disturbed they are.
With computers all over the place and robots, lots of robots, by the way. So I said, well, how's that going? I was making a speech and I said, I'm right about there where that very beautiful girl is. I'm not allowed to say that. See the beautiful blonde girl right there? I said, now you know that's the end of your political career when you do that. You're not allowed to call anybody beautiful anymore. If you do, it's the end of your political career. Ron Johnson would never do.
You can see the Trump supporters just sort of cringe, even thinking about it, even saying it the way he was. Gee, it just will. I don't even want to think about it because it's so gross. This is who Donald Trump is, and even his MAGA supporters, whom left early. You saw some people trickle out there, and a couple of clips because they're tired of the same old shtick are just fed up with, and specifically on these women's issues, which Donald Trump continues to talk about in the most off-putting way. Of course, the guy most singularly responsible for overturning Roe v. Wade in the world, but the way he talks about these issues are so strange as that VP Harris was calling him out for right here.
And remember how we got here. Donald Trump hand-selected 3 members of the United States Supreme Court with the intention that they would undo the protections of Roe v. Wade, and they did as he intended. And now in America, 1 in 3 women lives in a state with a Trump abortion ban, many with no exceptions, even for rape and incest, which is immoral. And Donald Trump's not done. Did everyone hear what he just said yesterday? That he will do what he wants, quote, and here's where I'm going to quote, whether the women like it or not. And we must vote because this is the thing. You know, there's a saying that you got to listen to people when they tell you who you are, who they are. And this is not the first time he has told us who he is. He does not believe women should have the agency and authority to make decisions about their own bodies. This is the same man who said women should be punished for their choices. He simply does not respect the freedom of women or the intelligence of women to know what's in their own best interest and make decisions accordingly. But we trust women. We trust women. Which is why, yes, we will vote, because we also understand if he was elected, he has been pretty clear in his behavior and his deeds. He will ban abortion nationwide. He will restrict access to birth control, put IVF treatments at risk, and force states to monitor women's pregnancies. And you don't have to take my word for it. Just Google Project 2025.
We have long been talking about Donald Trump cognitive decline on this show and how it should be a part of a broader message. The strange way he talks, the weird things he says, his increasingly unhinged rants and rambles. I think VP Harris is doing the best job out of anyone I've seen connecting the weird way in which he is speaking and acting to the truth of the actions he wants to enact and that he already has. And I think that can be really clearly seen, not only in his line talking about Donald Trump attacks on women's reproductive freedom and how he views them, but the way that Donald Trump wants to carry out his attacks on everyone in this clip right here.
Imagine that for a minute, right? January 20th. Oval Office. It's either going to be him sitting in there poring over and stewing over his enemies list, or when I am elected, it will be me walking in there on your behalf working on my to-do list. Because we got work to do. Because we have work to do. And at the top of my list is bringing down the cost of living for you. That will be my focus every single day as president, including I will give a middle-class tax cut to over 100 million Americans. We will enact the first ever federal ban on corporate price gouging on groceries. And fight to make sure that hardworking Americans can actually afford a place to live.
Voice. President Harris here isn't just making a great argument against Donald Trump, but she is setting the whole framing of the campaign. Donald Trump is a self-obsessed narcissist who is only focused on his own grievance because he can only look in the past, which is where he wants to push us. VP Harris is future forward. She's thinking about what we can do to better our country, and she's doing so with a list of prepared pieces of her agenda which have already proved to be successful in Biden-Harris administration, one of the most successful presidencies in history that she was an integral part of, and she wants to carry on those policies. She wants to improve upon those policies, and she wants to continue to build as we turn the page on Donald Trump. He has focused on himself. She's focused on you in the future. That is the argument. And we're going to continue to make it on this show every single day. And if you want to support that, as always, you can hit that subscribe button. You can leave a like on this video. And if you're stuck around at the end, you can drop a blue heart in the comments. And if you have already voted for VP Harris, I would love to know that in the comments. It would make my day. And I want everyone to thank you for doing so. And until next time, I'll see you soon.